You know, we all remember where we was at when that whole Janet Jackson, Justin Timberlake thing went down at the Super Bowl. I was at Fort Knox, Kentucky, in basic training, and I remember sitting in one of the rooms where they do, they induct you, they you sign your paperwork and get your uniforms, and you get signed to your different platoons and whatnot. Well, we were sitting there watching the Super Bowl because at that time of year they had just changed it where you you report to basic training earlier than usual, because usually they wait till after I think at one time they used to wait after the first of the year or something like that. But anyways, um, we was watching the Super Bowl, and I remember at that scene where "Get You Naked" by the end of the song, and Justin ripped Janet, and we saw Janet breasts. Now, some of the guys in there wasn't really watching the halftime show, but I was. I'm like, hell, man, this is probably gonna be the last time I watch TV for a while, so I'm gonna watch every last minute of it. And I'm like, I couldn't believe it, that he actually ripped her blind. It wasn't because of the Super Bowl. I didn't think they was gonna actually go that far with it. But little did I know that Janet was left out there hanging by Justin, and the white media just crucified as if she somehow planned it. But Justin was the one that ripped the top or the part of her wardrobe. And we've heard white folk make joke about it time and time again, especially white women. And Madonna, as usual, got something to always say about something, always talking about how other people perform, but yet she's the biggest whore of them all. She's the biggest provocateur of questionable images that I've ever seen. I guess we all forget back in the 90s she came out with that book titled Sex, or the video Justify My Love, or the videos when she was talking about, religion, the cross. I mean, all kinds of shit. And people just excuse it because she's Madonna, but they didn't excuse because she was Madonna. They excuse it because she was a white woman. Because white women have a tendency to say and do things that other women don't get the benefit of. Now, I think only a certain group of women of color gets that benefit, women who are identified as Latin or Latinas or Puerto Rican or Mexican or Cuban, Dominican. Well, I guess, and I guess it depends on his skin tone. Well, Madonna been making digs about, well, you won't see any nipples at my halftime show. Making digs at Janet Jackson. We know what she was doing. And then fast forward to this point with this last week or so, she did a video, I think it was reported last Sunday or last Saturday, she's performing at a show where she showed the image of a swastika and some of the imagery. Media barely said anything about it. But then she in the concert in Istanbul, and she shows nipple, not by accident. Well, let me play it and you'll see what I'm talking about. Now, what gets me about Madonna is that no matter how horrid she can be, no matter how insensitive she can be, people give her a pass. But this goes back to what I've said for a long time now. White women can do and say things, and people find ways to rationalize it or excuse it or defend it. Now, you've seen some of my last videos. I pointed out Gwyneth Paltrow, Bristol Palin. I did in other videos on my other channels. I talk about Michelle Bachmann, Sarah Palin, Hillary Clinton, and them. They've all said and done stuff at some point. And there's a lot of others that I've slipped my mind at the moment who have said and done things. But Madonna made a big deal about mocking Janet Jackson. Now, my thing is, if you're going to sit around and criticize somebody and do something that you just critiqued, aren't you a hypocrite? But I shouldn't be shocked. This is nothing new. And this is why I'm going to do a video talking about about this in further detail. And I'm gonna address it to the black female population, because some of y'all think that if a white woman can do it, I should be able to do it. Nah, sisters, don't try to go tit for tat with these bitches. And I mean to use the term bitches, but you know, they keep a lot of shit going. A white woman can go suck 20 or 30 dicks and still be looked upon as a princess. You may never did any of those things and been looked upon as a slut and whore. I mean, here it is. This bitch criticized Janet and criticized Lil' Kim and them and other black females, but turn around and do what she do. Madonna's old enough to be my mother, okay? She's old enough to be, Madonna be 54 years old this year. She's old enough to be my mother. And the image of her showing her old crusty ass breasts, I don't want to see that shit. She just proves me right when I said that white women are hypocrites. And these are the same women talking about people seeing them as sexual objects and disrespecting them. But they ain't been disrespecting the way a black woman's been disrespected. It just kills me how hypocritical people like her can be. But then turn around and want to claim, well, I'm freedom of speech. I'm revoking my right. I'm a woman. Hear me roar. But then this bitch make a big deal about Janet Jackson. Come on. That's hypocrisy. Hypocrisy.